So while we just give this next minute or so coming into a seated pose, this can be done in a chair if you prefer, and then make the transition to the wall later as the class unfolds. Welcome, Cindy. So Cindy, we are doing a wall class today, but you could also do this against a chair or a couch. Actually, a couch better than a chair, because the wideness of the couch, you can use that as like a semi-wall. So you could even use a smaller space than you realize and just shift around as needed. So get creative. So coming into seated pose, I want to introduce you to a very simple pranayama. And let me mute the music for just a little bit more so you can hear me better. And hopefully that doesn't mute me. Okay. So, Nadi Shodhan is the name of the pranayama that we'll do today, and in English it means alternate nostril breathing. And so alternate nostril breathing is just like it sounds. We're going to alternate breathing between one nostril and the other. Now what this does is it's said to synchronize the different hemispheres of the brain. Nadi translates to subtle energy channel. And so we're balancing or cleansing out the subtle energy channels between the left and right hemisphere with Nadi Shodhan pranayama. Pranayama just means working the life force through the breath. And so it starts out with your right hand going into that Hawaiian hang ten. So a thumb is extended, the thumb is going to close off the right nostril, and then actually it's a pinky and a ring finger that's going to close off the left nostril. So we'll do this for a few minutes, so likely we'll get somewhere around 10 or more rounds of the breathing. Now for some of you, breathing in and out through the nose is a game over. So what I want you to do, instead of closing off the nostril, what you'll do is you'll just put your finger at the opening of the nostril. That way the air can go in through both nostrils, even though you have one slightly covered. The other option is to refrain from closing the nostrils altogether and give yourself a mental inhaling and exhaling through the one nostril and then switching. And I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So the pattern is exhale, inhale, switch nostrils. Exhale, inhale, switch. So when you're closing off the right nostril, you'll exhale out the left. Inhale, switch. Exhale, inhale, and switch. And you can begin now if you like. So you want to have, for beginners, you want to be breathing in at about a count of 4 and exhaling at a count of 6. That's the optimal. It's not necessary that you follow that, but what this eventually does with more practice of the Nadi Shodhan is it starts to regulate the heart rate and calm down the central nervous system and bring you to what they call heart rate variance, which is an optimal number for the amount of time it takes you to inhale and exhale and the number of breaths that you would take in a minute. It has great scientific evidence of healthy individuals. So inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6 counts.
And as you get used to it, calm down, slow down the breath. Again, if you need to open and not quite close all the way. This is said to be good for centralizing the mind or calming the mind, helping with anxiety. Just check in that your shoulders are relaxed, that your elbows aren't holding tension. So it's exhale, inhale, and switch. And finishing on your next exhale on the left nostril. Letting your hands rest in your lap. Closing your eyes just to take in a sense of rebound. What the sensation coming back to you. So we're going to sit with our back against the wall or the couch, whichever you have available for you. And with your legs coming into an easy cross-leg pose, let's say the right foot in front, just for reference so that I know. So we're going to go for a forward fold. So kind of nestle into your hip flexors and take it down a little bit at a time. So there's a slow descend. Always having something for your head to rest on, taking a lot of the tension out. So your neck, shoulders, even the hands can relax. Loosen up the jaw. Just taking a mental snapshot of your day. And breathe out the unnecessary tension. It is the holiday time, so there's probably a little extra layer going on. So breathe that out. This is the time to press the reset button. And we allow the breath to be at the forefront of our attention and our awareness. Recapturing the 4 and 6, so 4 beats to inhale, and 6 beats or counts to exhale. Or something that feels like that is good. Enjoy the next 5 breaths. That really smooth and slow, unhurried breathing in and out. And this being likely a very important time, maybe the most important time of your evening. We honor this body and process the day. Ending on a deep exhale. And when you're ready, come to seated pose where we begin. And we'll do a couple of side or lateral bends of the spine, so side bends, and we'll work that in with the breath. So as your arms rise up and shoulders are heavy going down, exhale one hand down to the earth, side bend. We're going to keep it moving here. So on your next inhale, back to center, exhale, we tip the other way. And so you can still follow along with that 4 in and exhale 6. Ending on that opposite side. Oh, big exhale out. And we come back to center and then change the cross of the legs. Now the left leg is in front, or whichever you, opposite side. And then nice long spine, flat back, and the chest is going to lead the way, grounding. And maybe taking your time here. A little bit of rocking, supple qualities, any supple movement that helps you get to that level.
It might be tempting to start making a list or get around to thinking about something that you've put off all day. And if it gives you relief, it seems to calm the body. But those thoughts that ruminate around frequencies of irritation or some sort of lower, not serving our highest and best. It's okay to allow the mind, like that train station, and we will stay still, calm, focusing on the breath. So staying low here, begin to walk both hands over to the right side. Enjoy a nice side stretch here long side body there on the left. And then slightly pushing into your hands as you ground that left hip. So feel that diagonal stretch. Recognize parts of the colon, or the digestive tract rather, the large intestines, small intestines. I'm getting a nice little squeeze going on there. So let's move over to the opposite side and applying the same principle here. Settle in first, and then you can start to apply pressure to the diagonal. So we're really cinching on the ascending and descending colon. Push a little bit more here, grounding the right hip this time. We'll bring it back through to center and come to seated pose. All right, so we're going to turn sideways now and straight legs with one side to the wall, and the same side, same arm. In this case, mine is the right arm, my right side. And so you're going to bring that right arm right above your head, just hanging out here for just a moment. Left hand is going to come into a staff position. So staff pose is simply straight legs out, toes pointing straight up, and that hand by your hip joint. And so it gives that lifting up. Think of a rod, think of a staff. You want to be lengthening up in that same manner, countering gravity. So we're going to start to wave or arc or rainbow that right arm up and back and up and forward. Meanwhile, maintaining the staff quality of the legs and on the left side. Don't forget about your bandhas, so draw in and up, and the belly button in and back. Support from the inside out. So the next time that your arm comes to your back, stop at that juicy point, which is a 90 degrees from where your shoulder attaches to the body. And hold there, and we're going to look over the left shoulder. And look as far as even your eyes will allow you to go. So we'll go right to the peripheral, a little bit of yogi eyes going on as well. This is great for opening up, of course, the shoulder head, but also the lung points here. This is good for the heart center as well. Peel open the chest, lifting the chest. And then we're going to release the arm, bringing the arm back up and around and behind the head. So as if you were going into that Gomukhasana, and you're going to press your elbow into the wall, and the idea is that that will help to press the elbow more up towards the ceiling. Now if that's awkward and you're at a couch, you can use your left hand to draw, and now your fingertips are reaching down between the shoulder blades here. So just showing you from the back what we've got going on here. Releasing that, hug the right knee in. So the right side, we're still right here. And we're going to take that left arm to hug the right, and you can twist here. Now you can use the wall, and if you're using the wall, be mindful that shoulder isn't trying to pop up on you. So we want to just let it all go down, or use the floor if that is something you'd like. So you get a little bit of like leverage with the wall, and twist. Exhale, wring out the toxins of the day. Lighten up your face, lifting the cheekbones. Maybe there's nothing really to smile about, but you're going to allow the physical biology of your body to create a chemistry. The same way if you were to imagine a lemon, if you've ever imagined sucking on a lemon, immediately your mouth begins to water, and there is no lemon. It's stimulus response. So we're going to stimulate with the smile, and the response is a sense of relaxation and a little bit more upliftment. So we're releasing out of the twist, a little bit of windshield wipers, and we take a nice forward fold here. So right from the hip creases, not so much the waist. So we want a long spine, and then wherever your arms take you, then let them fall. So the shoulders can relax, and then you've got your block for your head. And breath is at the forefront of your awareness. All the chaos of your mind is sort of blurred in the background. We'll do the last 3 breaths here. Inhale, just slightly lift your gaze, just the gaze, and then exhale, fold a little deeper. Just your head, lift up and look up. Exhale, folding a little deeper. Last time. And we will switch to the other side. So swivel around. Create the space works for you. We're going to have staff here on the right side. So place that right hand. And some of you may feel like, well, my arm's a little too short. You can add a blanket here and push it into some kind of a prop that adds it there. But I think if our bodies are proportional to what we're made, it should be just right that your hand hits the... So pulling up on the bandhas, pelvic floor draws up, navel draws back and up. And then the left arm is up, toes are pointing up. So it's active. It's active. I'm just getting used to that nice lengthening, and then we'll start to rotate the arm or windmill. You can find a pattern of breathing on one direction of your arm and exhaling the other direction. In other words, inhale up, exhale down. So we're ready to find that 90 degrees behind you. Find that. Hold, lengthen, and then we'll start to turn to look over the right shoulder. So left arm is against the wall, right shoulder, we're looking the opposite direction. And now breathe into the shoulder head there, the shoulder nest. Starts to become too much, just let a little bit off the line, lowering it a little if you need to here. Otherwise, just sink into it, allow it to give its moment. There's about 15 seconds of resistance for connective tissue and muscles, because the body has this built-in resistance to injury, and so it will pull back on you. But after that 15 to 20 second mark, then it goes, oh, you really did mean that we can relax now, we're not going to be injured. And so there's this giving in or yielding. And you may have already passed that point, and now you can really get the benefits of the yin. So anytime that you are stretching, say exercising, past that 20-second stretch, holding your calf or your runners that are starting, get past that 15, 20 seconds. So, and start to release the arm now. And we'll bring the arm back up, bending the elbow and either pushing the elbow against the wall or use your right hand. Feel those left fingertips going right between the shoulder blades, pointing down to the earth. Elbow pointing up to the sky.
And we're going to take it down again for forward fold on this side. And final 5 breaths. Inhale, just lifting your gaze. And exhale, fold forward. Ending on a deep, long exhale. And we will now make our way to the wall. We're going to go in a nice, long, wide stance. So a reclining can get against the wall. You want your hips nearly touching. And we're going to go into a wide lotus legs. Now for those of you that would prefer to do this one leg at a time, I will give you the halfway point so that you can switch legs. So this is a halfway point. If you have a single leg, if you did the L shape, then bring that leg to center and switch.
are 5 last breaths. So allow yourself to feel a little more comfortable. You can flex through the feet to intensify. Should you be so daring. And then assisting the legs to come back to center. And we're going to bring the feet together and allow the knees to go wide. So this is our bound angle pose. So feet together like little prayer feet that have opened up into a prayer book. And knees drop. Again, you want to be really close, hips nearly touching the wall. And I'm going to bring the arms up and overhead, grasping opposite elbow. Find and recapture that 4 beats to inhale and 6 beats to exhale. Something that has that feeling and sensation of pattern to it. Tune in and tune out. Start to bring the knees back to center. And just take a moment, straighten the legs, a couple of windshield wipers. So this next one is to benefit the spine, just to get us a little bit off the floor. So with your arms alongside the body and pressing down into your hands, bend your knees, flatten the feet nice and grounded, and begin to lift the hips. And then going as high as it feels good for you and your spine, and with control bringing it back down. So you're moving through each of the bones of the vertebra only to about the shoulder. So a shoulder stance, we're not going to go over onto the neck. Now for some yogis, it's going to feel good to roll up, roll down. But if you are one of those, you can bring the hands to the small of your back, that flat part of the spine. You can bring your elbows in a little closer and then lifting one leg at a time. Again, this is a shoulder stance, so shoulder standing. Only the shoulders, not on the neck. And then some yogis may want to take both legs up. This is completely optional. And if you are doing one leg, you can switch to the other. And beginning to roll with control back, down. And we'll just let the knees rock a little side to side. So we're going to go into some wall pigeons. So both legs will be straight. And again, your derrieres right up to the wall for this one as well. Right ankle is going to go on top of the left knee. And then you're going to bend and start to place that left foot on the wall. Now you may get just right there at the beginning. As soon as the foot goes on the wall, that's the stretch that's right for you. If it starts to feel something you can engage more with, you'll start to slide the left heel towards your hips. You don't want to be lifting off the floor. If that's happening, you'll back off. You can back off the wall. So finding that just right positioning for your
reclined pigeon pose here. Our final 5 breaths right here. And then we're going to keep the ankle on the knee and just take all those legs over to the left side. So yogi's choice, you can either stay with both legs or knees stacked, or you can take straight legs off to the side. So one or the other, and then going into that spinal twist. And enjoy these next 5 breaths, counting on the exhale at 1. Exhaling all the tension out. 2. So we'll begin to heel toe the legs and the feet back up the wall. And we'll reverse for the other side. So this time the left ankle comes on top of the right knee. Flexing that left foot and then placing, without lifting the hips, placing the right foot on the wall. And then from here, gauging where your right, just right, good stretch. And I even like to push that knee or the thigh right there towards the wall. So isn't it so great to have nothing to think about, have nothing to be responsible for? Not really. There's nothing you have to remember or get just right. You can just be right here, right now. And then beginning to take both legs over to the right side, stacking or straight legs for a spinal twist.
This be the last 5 breaths in the pose. We're going to go onto the side rather than come back onto your back. Take a moment to allow your spine to come back into neutral. And we're going to flip over onto the belly with your legs bent so that your knees are here. And then letting your feet come together, and you'll be in a Sphinx pose. So this is going to feel really great for the spine. Oops. Should really keep my watch with me so I can see. Oh, good. We have 1 minute to do this. Lovely, lovely. All right. So a little something for the back since we've been on. So now the feet have been together. So let's take the feet wide. So knees and legs wide, and for some of you, staying right here in the elbows is going to feel good. For some of you, maybe lifting up, getting a little more into that lumbar curve, but don't force it. This is plenty right here. We just want to counterbalance being on our back. And so for the final Shavasana, legs up the wall is appropriate, but if you would like to go into child's pose or would like to do traditional Shavasana, which I'm going to do traditional Shavasana, then make your way into your desired place. So the challenges of Yin Yoga are not so much what's happening in the body. It's what goes on in this mind that starts to get chatty. So focusing on the breath, finding something a little more exciting about how the breath moves in and through the body. And the more that you repeat this and practice this, it starts to become something you look forward to, because it's so refreshing and stabilizing and resetting for the body, and looking forward to not having to think. So giving the mind something to do, counting to 5. So you'll count to 5 each breath, being 1 count. And as soon as you get to 5 breaths, you begin back again at 1. Notice the goal is not to count, it's to stay present. Once you've gone past 5, you have lost the connection to breath. You sort of go on autopilot mind. So mindful breathing, enjoy. I'll see you in a few minutes. this the 5 breaths, counting backwards down from 5. Again, bringing that smile onto your cheekbones, smiling at your organs, smiling from the tip of your toes to the top of your head, drawing the knees into the body, coming into your seated pose in a way that supports you. We'll all begin or end in the way that we began with our meditative seated pose here. So bringing the hands to your heart center, allowing ourselves to take a moment, tuning inward. We'll send a vibration of an Om to reset all the cells in the body, hearing the sound of the Om, all on board, connecting in with that higher parts of ourselves. So if you'd like to take your video off and also unmute yourself for our Oms and join in. And so allowing your breath to fill your lungs. Namaste, everybody. Have a great weekend and a
Namaste.
wonderful slumber.